Well, welcome aboard. I am Jim Bethel. Welcome. Um, this presentation, this was fun. I enjoy looking at other religions and kind of what they do and how they do it. And I was asked one time, just as a background, I am a retired professional scout. And in my very first professional scout training, we're sent back to Dallas at the Center for Professional Development for a couple of weeks. And when I came home, someone asked me what it was like, who all was there. And I said, well, this was a group of people that everybody was college educated. You have to have a degree. Everybody has above average people skills. And they were all active in their respective religions. And it was eye-opening, I think, to a lot of people when you get with those that have various religions, the way they pray, the way they conduct their services. They're different from the way I do things, but I just found it very, very enlightening, very refreshing, very comforting to see that. And so I was glad to be able to use this course to kind of explain this stuff. Our course, our objectives is to explain why BSA has religious emblems program, to discuss in general how to earn these religious emblems, to share resources about religious emblems and other NOT awards, review the various religious emblems, and if we have time, I've got a few slides on the end about other NOT awards and how they've evolved. So this
can I ask a question real quick?
Sure.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
That's
Are
okay.
any of these going to be involving Cub Scouts? Is there a religious award for Cub Scouts still?
Almost every religion has a reward, a religious emblem for Cub Scouting.
Okay, great, thank you.
So some of them just have one religious award that is earned regardless of what your age is, but most of them have Cub Scout religious awards, Boy Scout and venturing and adult, and they divvy up various age categories that way. So this will be a question and answer format where we view the various religious emblem programs. But I also know when we start talking about religions, it can become personal. And if there's a clarification point that you may have when we're talking about that specific religion, please feel free to join in and help us better understand. I think we're all aware of Baden-Powell's position on religion versus in scouting. He's quoted as, "I've been asked to describe more fully what was in my mind as regards to religion when I instituted scouting and guiding," referring to the Girl Guides. Says, "I was asked, where does religion come in? Well, my reply is, it does not come in at all. It's already there. It's the fundamental factor underlining scouting and guiding." And he also was quoted as, "No man is much good unless he believes in God and obeys his laws, so every scout should have a religion." Religion seems to be a very simple thing. Love and serve God, and love and serve your neighbor. I don't think we would get any controversy in those statements. Real quickly, this has been a source of controversy over the years nationally with the Boy Scouts, but they've held strong to this, in that Boy Scouts maintains that there's no member can grow to the best kind of citizen without recognizing an obligation to God, and therefore recognizes the religious element in the training of the member. But it is absolutely non-sectarian in its attitude towards that religious training. The policy is, and this is the religious principle here, the policy is that the home, an organization or group which the member is connected shall give definite attention to a religious life. Only persons willing to subscribe to those precepts from the from this declaration of religious principle into the bylaws of the Boy Scouts of America shall be entitled to a certificate of leadership. The Boy Scouts does not require membership in a religious organization or association for enrollment in the scouting program, but it does require subscription to the duty to God concept. That seems such a simple thing, and it causes so much problems. That's caused so much problems over the years. Okay, first question. Why does the BSA have a religious emblem program? Does anyone want to answer that?
Well, it's interesting. We just talked about the importance of a scout as reverent. Baden Powell said that there's no religious side to the movement. It is a religious movement. And so this is to recognize the individual faith organizations so that when youth or adults earn their religious award, it can be recognized on the scout uniform.
That is one of the reasons why we have a religious emblem program. That is correct.
What is the first principle or first point of the Scout Oath? Duty to God.
That's right. So here we have an organization, a national world organization for that matter, that is prescribing the importance of a duty to God. So it makes sense there's going to be some venue to express that, some way to emphasize that. Religious emblems enforce the BSA values, and those are all stated in the Scout Oath and Law. Of note, more than 2/3, and I would argue probably more than that, the resource I saw said 2/3, but of all the chartered organizations are faith-based. The religious emblem programs strengthens and improves relationships with existing organizations, and it helps establish relationships with potential chartering organizations. This is as a retired professional scout, you go into a community and you look at the various churches and you go to them and say you're from the Scouts, and it opens doors. You know, this can help with your youth ministry, whatever your youth ministry is doing right now. Here's a resource and some tools that can help your youth be more involved in their religion and grow in your religion. And it was always fun meeting with those pastors and ministers and whatever their titles were over the years to introduce scouting to them. Religious emblems programs are programs created by the various religious groups to encourage youth and leaders to grow in their own faiths. And it's been shown that if you are involved in the religious emblems program, that you stay longer in Scouts. So it's self-serve scouting in a way, in that you stay longer in the program if you're involved in the religious emblems program. And it's important to note that the Boy Scouts has approved these programs, but that they are developed and administered by the various religions. The BSA just has a knot that says you've earned your religious emblem. It does not go any further than that, other than it does supply some materials, but these aren't produced by the Boy Scouts. Question number 2 is, what is the role of adults? As scout leaders are, you're encouraging your youth to get these and to present them in a meaningful way. At some point over the years, they developed a position called a religious emblems coordinator, whose job it was to specifically kind of herd the cats. Most units, a lot of units have various faiths represented in their unit. And so you help the Catholic boy get his award, you help the Methodist boy get his award, and so forth and so on. And there are different criteria for this. And of course, you have chaplains that can help with this, or chaplain aides, or parents, or mentors. Anybody can help with this, but there is a patch, so to speak. Question number 3, what resources are available? So we have this Duty to God pamphlet. Has anybody seen this one, the one featured on the far left here? They used to have hard copies of this floating around. It is online. If you look for it online, it is there. The material, of course, isn't updated to the very newest one, but I think 2019, I think it might be 2018 was the last printing of that. It's a good source. Then you have the Guide to Awards and Insignia. This isn't a Boy Scout created thing that gives kind of a summary of stuff in the back. The Chartered Organizations Resource Guide. There's a lot of information in there regarding the various religious committees. We live in a time now where hard copies are kind of out of, hardly anybody has a hard copy of anything anymore. So you can go online with scouting.org with awards, religious awards. And Brian on Scouting, the scoutingmagazine.org has a lot of updates and information about religious awards. The Vanguard International Scouting Association has information on their specific awards. The largest organization where you get the most information is the PRAY organization. And you can print various things from the PRAY organization, and we will talk more specifically about them in this presentation. Oh, and Boys Life has a regular feature about religions each month. A lot of religions have their own website. There's a National Jewish Committee on Scouting, National Catholic Committee on Scouting, Baptist Committee on Scouting, Lutheran Committee on Scouting, Islamic Committee on Scouting, and others. What are the steps of earning a religious emblem? It's pretty evident. Like anything else you want to earn, you find the booklet, check it out, ask your parents to review the guidelines. Sometimes you have to become a member of that religious organization, but not always. Find a counselor or a mentor or a religious emblem coordinator to help guide through it. Complete the requirements, get the signatures, order the emblem, and receive the emblem in some meaningful way. It's important to know that most of the time, we're talking about boys' religious emblems now. I think it was Shelley that mentioned Cub Scouts. So yeah, this is the way the boys earn their awards. What about the adult religious emblems? Generally speaking, the adults don't have a specific criteria to boxes to check, so to speak, to get their reward. They're nominated from others and have letters of reference and clergy signatures. There are some adult religious programs that do have a list of criteria that the men do or women leaders do. But generally speaking, there is not. Also, the approval goes through that organization. And it's not uncommon, because there are multi-faiths represented in one unit, that the unit leader may be a member of one faith, and because of his work with youths of another faith, he would be nominated and awarded the religious emblem for leaders for the other faith. I have seen a number of leaders that I knew were either Latter-day Saints or Methodists or whatever, and they've got like a Catholic award, a religious emblem. They were nominated by that congregation, those leaders in that church, to get that award. And I find that very, I don't know, I just find that really interesting, really, I mean, that's what scouting is all about. So question number 6, which religious emblem should I wear? The Boy Scouts just has the 2 religious emblems, the Youth Award and the Adult Award. I think we're all familiar with this. I was looking at the list of people on our chart, and it looked like all of them were fairly tenured in their scouting. So we know that the purple knot with the silver rope is the Youth Award, and the silver knot, the silver award with the purple knot is the Adult Award. And you know, there's a way of wearing it. The knot that goes over on the square knot should be to the right, and some of the knots are produced so you really can't tell which is the proper way. And if you can't tell, then I guess it doesn't really matter. But if you can't tell, the overhand knot should be facing to the right. Are there any other questions thus far? Question: I have a unit with children of many faiths. How do I include the religious emblem program in my unit? And of course, the answer there is it's not the unit leader's responsibility to do that. It comes from the religion itself and from the boy itself. And his job is to encourage those youth to pursue that. I like this question: do boys and girls participate in the same program? Most of the time, yes. There are some where they are different. If the religious emblem program for my faith has more than one level, for the different grade levels, can my child earn all of those recognitions? What is the answer to that? Let me throw that out and have you answer it.
Yes, you know, the answer is on the screen there, but absolutely. So Cub Scouts can earn the religious award for that grade level. Sometimes there's a separate one for Webelos, and then of course in Boy Scouts and venturing. So sometimes there are 4 different levels for youth, but as it says there, once you are past that age, you can't retroactively go back. You must be in that age group to earn that.
Yeah, that's the point. It's the same principle as if you were to join Cub Scouts as a Webelo. Can you go back and earn your wolf and bear? And the answer is no. You joined as a Webelo. You have passed that age. So yeah, you can get the religious emblem for the age that you are, but you can't backtrack and earn the ones for the younger age groups. Can an emblem earned as a youth be worn on the adult uniform? And of course, that answer is yes. There are a number of knot awards that you earn as a youth that can be worn on the adult uniform, including the Eagle Knot and the Arrow of Light Knot. There's also, if you were a life-saving knot earned as a youth, can be worn on the adult uniform, of course.
Yeah, Jim, it's basically the highest award of every program. So the highest of Cub Scouts is the Arrow of Light. The highest of Boy Scouts is the Eagle or Scouts BSA for youth. And the highest of the Exploring, the Silver, or Venturing, the now Summit Award, or the old Venturing Silver. So the highest award for every program can still be worn as an adult.
Thank you. A lot of our presentation is going to be talking and showing, which I find absolutely fascinating, the different religions that have developed their programs and they've been so creative, and their religious emblems, the actual medals, really show a lot about their faith. And I don't know, I just get excited when I look at these. They're so cool. But there's about 42 religions that participate in the program. As mentioned earlier, the PRAY organization was established to create support materials and the medals. And a lot of religious programs have their own supply department, so to speak. It creates and controls their emblems. But the PRAY organization crosses a lot of covers a lot of territory amongst many religions. So the PRAY program, and here's the information, all things about PRAY is, praypub.org, or info@praypub.org. And they have it broken down by age groups. You've got your kindergarten through first grade, Jesus and Me, God and Me for second and third grades, God and Family for 4, 5, and 6, God and Church for 6, 7, and 8, and God and Life for high school, 9 through 12. And they have a theme in each one of those age groups. They have activities for each one of those age groups. There's games and things that they have to accomplish, Bible verses and other projects, service projects. And you can get on that website and find out more. They have these books for the various a student workbook and a mentor book. They have virtual class PowerPoints for these. And I have looked through some of the handbooks. I haven't got online and looked at their PowerPoints, but I have to assume they're pretty close to what's in the handbook. And they're exactly what you expect them to be. The previous slide talks about the theme and the activities, and this is where all those themes and activities and games and things are shown. When I was putting this together, I basically cut apart that very first resource on the resource slide about duty to God, where it shows the religious emblem and it gives the contact information on where they are. And so some of these slides will have a little more detail, and that's because the book had a little more detail that I used. So the Anglican Catholic Church, I'm not real sure how to pronounce in Latin these things, so I'm not going to try out of respect. I don't want to mess up. The Armenian Church of America, the Eastern Diocese, there's their contact. They're in New York. The Anglican Church is in Athens, Georgia. And then the Armenian Apostolic Church is in Los Angeles. I haven't personally come across any of those specific ones in my tenure with the Scouts. These, the African Methodist, Episcopal, and the Anglican, and the Baptist, I've come across many of these. And you'll notice that all three of these, their awards are similar, but not exactly the same. So the PRAY organization has those awards, especially the younger ones. It seems like the adult award has a little different look at it. The God and Service for the adults, the St. George Cross, and the Good Shepherd come from the specific religious committee from those organizations, from those faiths. The Buddhists and the Baha'i, am I saying that right? And the Eastern Orthodox. So these are not from the PRAY organization. They create these in their own home offices. And I like the one with the world there. You know, it's a world church. Well, I shouldn't point that out. I like them all. I find them all equally fascinating. The Catholics, they have a lot of stuff. The Catholic Committee on Scouting, they really support the concept of duty to God wholeheartedly. They have a lot of support materials. They have youth manuals, they have activity books, they have facilitator guides, and those are available, usually available at scout shops. And that National Catholic Committee on Scouting is very active at the national level. And most councils have a Catholic Committee on Scouting as in their council organization. But you can notice that the youth awards, there's 5 different levels for youth awards. And I was amazed at the number of adult awards that Catholic Scouters can be nominated to achieve. And I don't know enough about the Catholic Church to understand the significance of the various emblems represented on these awards. But I am just awed with respect on the quality that they have, the quantity and the various aspects of scouting that adult leaders can be nominated to achieve. I think I did help give out a bronze pelican one time when I was in South Dakota. That was a very spiritual event. The Churches of Christ, the Christian churches, Disciples of Christ, we're back with the Pray organization. The Church of Christ Scientists, there again, that's from the Pray organization, their material. The Community of Christ, they have their own area, their own website. They're in Independence, Missouri. The Episcopal and the Lutheran, there again, a lot of their awards are from Pray, but then they do have their adult awards that are separate, the St. George Award and the Lamb Award from their organizations in St. Louis or wherever their headquarters may be. The Scouting for Jewish Youth, there again, they even have a quality unit program for those units that are just Jewish units, and all of those awards have significance in their religion with the names. There's an international award that the Catholic World Committee on National Catholic Committee on Scouting has an international award and a national award. General Church of the New Jerusalem, Hindu, Islamic, fascinating awards, just fascinating awards. I have not had the opportunity to be involved with any of these specific religious emblems. We have 4 other religions here that I have not had the opportunity or privilege of being involved with or meeting with. But there again, you can see their awards, meaningful, beautiful, and encourage and great awards for their members to pursue. 4 other religions here. Now, some of these, the Nazarene and the United Pentecostal and the Presbyterian Church use the Pray Awards for the most of them. The Sikh, I think I'm saying that right, have their own department. Protestant churches in general, you have to understand there's a lot of churches that are independent and they still want to have a religious emblem program in their church. So this is kind of the general one. United Church of Christ and other community churches, Presbyterians USA, Salvation Army. I did have a wonderful, wonderful friendship with the Salvation Army captain down in New Mexico when I was with him. And there was not a better scouter than that good man. And he promoted his Salvation Army religious emblems as should be. And I presented several while I was down in that area. The United Methodist Church, there again, they've got a nice variety, a wide variety. Their youth awards are from Pray, but there are several adult awards that are not from Pray. They give their, I guess, the equivalent of a religious emblem coordinator for that unit, or a mentor to help boys with their religious program, with their church and God and Church Mentor Award. There's a Bishop's Award. There's a certificate that goes with a chartering organization fulfilling various requirements, and then all those awards, adult awards that are available from the Methodist Church. This is probably the newest religious award in the fact that the LDS Church discontinued its association with the Boy Scouts of America as a faith, but there are many LDS youth involved in scouting. And so the old religious emblems that were church sponsored, the faith in God, on my honor, duty to God, those have all gone away. And those are the ones most people are familiar with. So they were replaced with the Vanguard International Scouting Association. And that is the organization for all LDS Scouts, girls and boys over the world. There are criteria that they accomplish, and their new religious emblem is the Light and Truth and the Vanguard Award. Nationally, there is the National Duty to God Award, and I was unaware of this. In the research I was doing, I came across this, and I'm going, well, I didn't even know the National Council did this. But they award very few of these annually. There again, you have to be nominated to receive this award, but to those that look beyond their own faiths and perpetuate a legacy of Scouts' duty to God through extraordinary leadership and service to youth. And this is awarded at a national annual meeting that the Boy Scouts have each year. And I would be amiss if we didn't bring in the Venturing Trust Award, although it is not officially a religious emblem. It does have a religious aspect to it, and it's designed to expose the youth to a variety of religions and their own. So they learn more about themselves and about their communities and about their religion and culture, as well as other religions and cultures. So in summary, the religious emblem program is an important part of scouting. It's at the very heart of scouting. The religious emblem program provides a venue for those in scouting to put their faith in action, I guess would be the word. And it provides us a way to understand other religions. So I did prepare for the other NOT awards. Before we pursue that, are there any other comments regarding religious emblems specifically?
I have a question.
Sure.
On those Vanguard knots for people in the LDS Church,
Yes.
how does one go about finding information on those?
I can go back to that slide real quick. There is.
And I can't see the slide, so.
Oh, okay. Let me read you info@vanguardcc.org. scouting.org.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Jim,
Yes.
I'd like to mention there's also an award, a religious award that you can earn it, a family or a troop can earn when they go down to Philmont, either to the training center or the trek there. I'm sure all the other high bases have the same thing. But there's just some things you just have to do to earn it. And then you have
Yeah.
to the patch from the trading post.
And so that would be program specific for the various programs. Okay, knots in general. I found, I have to tell you, I had way too much fun researching this. This guy online, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that's 21, 22 knots. I would wager no one has ever met another guy with 22 knots on his uniform. But that's a serious scouter. But in general, knots started out with, they were ribbons like military people get. And there's a list of them there. In 1934 is when the bars were introduced. And then in 46, Boys Life announced that because they're getting confused with military awards, they did away with them and introduced the knot awards. And in 56, they said, well, you know, you can only wear 5 knots at a time. And then in 57, they introduced the little devices, and we'll talk about that a little bit. And then 2005, a lot of councils in the interim were starting to create their own knots, and it was getting out of hand. So in 2005, the National Council said, no, you can't create your own knots anymore. We don't recognize those knots. And up until 1980, there was actually a pecking order for the way you wore your knots. I found that interesting. The most prestigious award was to be worn at the top and on the inside. And I'm glad all those have gone away now. You can earn as many knots as you can earn. And it doesn't matter where you wear or what order they're worn in. But there are general categories. We have the personal achievement. These are ones we're familiar with: Arrow of Light, Eagle, Venturing, Silver, Sea Scout. Training awards for the various programs. The recognition for doing something. These are the Hero Awards, the Hornaday Awards, the Youth Religious Award, James West Award for donating money to the endowment. And then all these service awards for service to whatever, either you know, Silver World, Silver Buffalo, Silver Antelope, Silver Beaver, Silver Beaver's Council, Antelope is region, Buffalo is a national, Silver World, of course, is world, international, Order of the Arrow, creating new units, the Philmont Training Center, Alumni Awards. All these awards are available to earn with, these are bestowed upon you, I should say, by those, other than the Doctorate of Commissioner of Science, where there is specific criteria that you have to achieve. There are a wide range of those that the most popular ones. I'm glad to say that the religious emblem for both the youth and the adults are in the top 10 of knots awarded. The Eagle Award of Merit, various the Scouter Training and Den Leader Awards are right up there. 8,000 plus district awards of merit, Scouter Keys, and 1,155 distinguished commissioner awards. That's good to know. The non-awards have evolved over the years. These listed here are ones that at one time were offered, but are no longer offered. You can't earn these anymore. They have been phased out, discontinued. There was one time when you could get, you know, a half dozen awards just by working in Cub Scouts. And those have all pretty much been replaced with just the Cub Scouter Award. And various Scoutmaster Awards, the C Badge knot. I don't think you can get the C Badge knot anymore. I don't know. They showed me that that was a discontinued knot. the scouting to Asian Americas and scouting to the Hispanic scouting organization, and those have been replaced with just one knot and not specific to a group of people. The devices worn in, you might see a lot of words with the various devices. And so you, to answer the question about the Cub Scouts, you can earn your religious Cub Scout award with Cub Scouting, and then there's different criteria, and you would put the Cub Scout device in there, and then there's some of the religions have criteria for the Weeblo Scouts, so you could put your Weeblo device inside the knot, and the same with Boy Scouts and the same with Ventures. So you could have one knot that has 4 devices in the middle of it. This particular chart shows the various devices that can be worn with the various knots. The Scouter's Training Award and the Scouter's Key, the same thing. There used to just be a Commissioner's Key or another key for whatever program. So it's just one key now, but you wear the device that you earned from the program you're working in to identify that. So if you were, you got your Scouter's Key while being a venture advisor, then you would put the venture device in there. Same with Sea Scouting and Boy Scouting and so forth. Now, here's the fun part. And I'm glad I've only got about 5 minutes. There have been some awards out there that are just, they're comical. That book, Awards, Knots, Ribbon Bars, Knot Awards, you can get that online. I found one and bought it. But for those really interested in this, the Illustrated History of the BSA Square Knot Evolution by George Kroll, parts 1 through 5, will give you more information than you want to know. The Hiker's Trading Post at sageventure.com will give you a lot of information. I got one more slide with that. The Boy Scout Trail will give you more information. But you can look at these. So there's the Alpha Phi Omega, the Scouting Fraternity. How about let's earn the Silver Squirrel Award? How about the Why Not Award? The Silver Jackalope, the Order of the Fork, or the Big Bucks Award. I couldn't help but laugh on some of these things. And then they were making knots for going to Wood Badge, for earning your scuba, for doing other things. There's a Girl Scout Gold Award knot, where you would have earned it as a Girl Scout, and now you're a Boy Scout, and that was the knot that you could officially wear on your Boy Scout uniform for something you did in Girl Scouts. The Denali Award. How about the International Society for Philosophical Inquiry? That's something Richard would probably earn. Those that don't know, Richard is our resident brainiac. And other awards. So if you go to the Hiker's Trading Post, you can see all those knots there. You can click on any one of those knots and it will show you a little information about that. And some of them you can still buy. Some of them, of course, have not been, they're sold out. And that's okay, but it was just fascinating to learn all these things about these awards. You know, we used to have Air Scouts, and there was an ACE award. There's just, and the knots themselves have pretty much stayed true to the same design, but over the years they've evolved a little bit also. And those resources I talked about earlier can tell you how those have evolved if you're interested in that. So with my last minute or two here, I've been in scouting a long time, and I've talked to a number of adults, and there is a little controversy about the scout leaders wearing awards. You know, I think they say Scouting's for the boys. I don't need to be recognized. You heard that argument, I'm sure. Or wearing a scarf, a knot award seems to be a bit self-serving. You know, look at me, look at all the knots I've worn, I've earned. Or the other argument is wearing the square knot shows the boys that their leader take the responsibilities seriously. And you should too, and be proud of what you're doing. And when you're talking with a leader that's got a few square knots on his uniform, that tells you that he's coming from a place where he's had some training and experience and knows what he's talking about, and deserves your attention and respect when in a scouting situation. So for what it's worth, I'm a pro knot wearer guy. I think it's important to learn your duty. And if there is a knot that is part of that learning and training, then you should wear it to kind of show others and encourage others to do their training. If you have done something meritoriously where you were distinguished from your religion or from your actions or from whatever group, as a matter of respect, I think you should wear that to show that you respect their feelings towards you. So that's my nickel's worth. And I think I've got 44 seconds left. Anybody have a question here? Well, thank you for joining me. I hope this was educational. I hope this answered any questions you might have, and you're a little smarter now than you were an hour ago.